Hey everybody. So I just wanted to have a kind of casual tea time chat with you here. And today I want to talk about developing a rhythm in our days that will support us in really functioning at our highest level. This is really the conversation that I'm most interested in, especially these days. And I want to start with this principle that actually comes from Ayurveda. And Ayurveda is the sister science to yoga. It means the science of life. And in Ayurveda, the foundation of our health and well-being is directly related to what's called our Agni. And Agni is our digestive fire. It's literally our ability to assimilate and metabolize really on the most physical level, the foods that we take in every day. But on an energetic level, it's connected into the solar plexus, into this the energy of the sun. So it's the fire element. So it's heating, it's generative, it's clarifying, and it's transforming. This is what Agni is about. And the key really to our health and well-being, it begins in our gut, and it's all about keeping this Agni balanced and strong. So how do we do this? Well, it begins with really kind of looking at our 24-hour circadian rhythm. And we can start by kind of thinking about feeding and focusing on 3 phases each day. So the morning, we'll start with the morning time. And we want to, optimally, we want to try to set our rhythm so that in the morning we're getting up either as the sun is coming up or before the sun rises, because this is when the cortisol levels begin to rise and the melatonin starts to decrease. So we want to rise with or before the sun, and it's what we're doing in this first phase of the day is all about purification. So the first practices that we do are about purifying. So from Ayurveda or from this yogic perspective, some of the things that you can do, first thing is to drink some warm or hot lemon water. Lemon is purifying and it's alkalinizing. And for many of us, because of our diet, we tend to be too acidic. So this is a really wonderful way to start to alkalinize our system. And it's the first thing we're putting into our stomach. If you drink coffee or tea, that's fine. Just maybe first try to think about having a glass or a mug of warm lemon water. And then it's purifying. We think about purifying the sense organs. And if you're just starting out with this practice, I would suggest just focusing on the tongue. So if you notice in the morning when you stick out your tongue, you see often that the white sort of film on your tongue. That is evidence and proof that you've been detoxifying at night, which is what you're supposed to be doing. So first thing in the morning, it's great to use a tongue scraper. You can get them at your drugstore, and just start at the back of your tongue and scrape that film off, and then brush your teeth and wash your face. So beginning in that way. And so you wanted to kind of think about these first foods, let's say, that you're consuming in the day. This is how you're setting yourself up to be able to continue with some energy and some vitality. So after you've done a little bit of your purifying, pranayama is great. So we start to awaken the energy body. So a little pranayama, just some deep breathing. And then movement, moving your physical body. So in whatever way feels good to you, maybe that's yoga, or maybe that's running or dancing or weightlifting or jumping on a trampoline, but to get your circulation and your lymph moving to encourage this detoxification. So, and ideally within the first 2 hours of waking up, you're emptying your bowels, you're eliminating. I was pretty surprised to learn recently that like 80% of people are constipated. And this is a real issue. So if your colon is backed up, that's going to have all kinds of effects on every level of your being. Energetically in yoga, we talk about wanting to keep the central channel open so that the energy can flow, right? But if you have a blockage here, that energy is not flowing. So I think it was Vasant Lad, the great Ayurvedic doctor. He said, "Blessed is the one who is awakened by number 2." So hopefully within the first couple hours of getting up, you're also eliminating. So first phase of the day is all about purification. And again, this is as yogis when we do our sadhana. So sadhana, we're not just purifying the physical body, but also the subconscious mind. It's a great time to meditate. So again, we're clearing out, it's like taking out the trash so that we can start the day fresh. So those are a few things that you can do. And then throughout the day, it's all about hydration and nutrition, nourishment. So nourishing yourself well, feeding yourself well. I won't go into like dietary stuff. That's personal, and I know everybody kind of has their own way of relating to what's best. So exploring and experimenting maybe with different diets to see what supports you in feeling your best. But most importantly, focusing on prana-rich foods, right? Or whole foods to the best of your ability. So drinking lots of water throughout the day. Again, many people don't drink enough water, and that can contribute to, our ability to eliminate more easily. And feeding yourself well, and specifically timing your biggest meal of the day between 12 and 3 p.m. That's when the fire element is at its peak. So our digestive fire is strongest at that time. So eat your big meal then, and then at dinner time, like 5 or 6 o'clock, have a smaller something, something lighter. And then it's ideal not to eat too much later after 7 p.m. And so that's the second phase of the day, which is nutrition, big meal in the midday, hydration, and then in the evening, it's winding down. So as the sun goes down, our cortisol levels decrease and melatonin then now starts to increase. So we want to start winding down and, giving ourselves time before we go to bed to unwind from the day. So ideally, we're not in front of our screens until the moment we go to bed, right? And we haven't eaten this huge meal that we're having to go to bed with in our stomach, right? Because if we're ending our day that way, thinking about all the emails that we haven't responded to, or texts, and we have this huge meal in our belly, then we're not allowing ourselves really what the nighttime and our sleep time is for, which is to digest and assimilate and integrate and process everything that we've taken in during the day. that's the time that our body mind processes everything. It processes not just the food we've taken in, but the interactions, the emotions, the information. So being very conscious too about what's the information you're taking in. Think about it almost like food. Is it good quality prana-rich information that you're taking in too? So giving yourself that time to wind down at the end of the day, and ideally we're in bed by 10 o'clock. Lights out, dark room. I like to even unplug my internet router so I'm not feeling that electromagnetic interference. But you again can experiment with it. But I would challenge you to try this, setting this rhythm for a week or two. Experiment with it and see how it works for you. And of course, you don't have to think about this has to happen every day. I'm a big fan of just this 80-20 rule. If I'm doing these things about 80% of the time, I'm good. I feel good. And to just stay tuned into your own being and notice, do I have the vitality and the energy and the optimism to be able to live at my highest level each day? And if not, to really examine how and where can I shift and change in order to create the conditions to be able to live my best life. And this is a great place to start. So hope that's helpful. Namaste.